Hi, welcome to the Heartland Mamas podcast. I'm your host, Heidi Henry. The Heartland Mamas podcast comes to you from the edge of the Great Red Divide, the Blue Island in the middle of America, right to your ears. You can find us on all podcast platforms, most social media, especially Blue Sky and Substack, and proudly part of the Demcast USA network. Like, subscribe, and share. Today, 2 days after Orange Caligula became president again, I need to talk to you because in the last 2 days I've been told to calm down, that I'm overreacting more times than I can count. And yes, I admit my intensity can be a lot for people, especially people of the spineless variety. They find that I don't censor myself as much as they would like me to. And I tell them that if you read on tyranny, you would know that the first thing you don't do is you do not acquiesce right off the bat. In fact, you don't acquiesce at all. And you engage people in thoughtful conversations. And right now, I realize that we have allowed the January 6th rioters who have said that now they know that they can bludgeon the blue without being reprimanded as long as they're doing the bidding of Orange Caligula, that they don't have to atone for anything, that they don't have to be held accountable for anything. The Proud Boys marched in downtown Washington. They marched because now they've been empowered. You have Elon Musk giving a Nazi salute, and right at the inauguration, and people are terrified. The rollbacks on rights and individual freedoms in this country by the simple stroke of a pen, a Sharpie, then tossed into the crowd longing for red meat, was not lost on all of us. Those of us that work daily with people in what some would call marginalized communities, I just call them human beings that are not just exactly like me. Um, the harm that this has done, the fact that they've taken aim at the least of these. As a Sunday school teacher, I can tell you the least of these are the ones we're supposed to protect, to raise up, to comfort, to nurture. But that's where MAGA goes first. Let's go to those that are having a hard enough time just surviving in life and make them feel like shit. Let's go after them, and maybe they'll off themselves. In fact, we've seen a bump in suicides in the last 2 days, in both veterans and LGBT plus communities. And when that bump in suicides is gleefully embraced by the new administration, that's some sick ass bastards. These are not inferior humans. They are just humans that are not exactly like you or me, or maybe they are just exactly like you and me. They're just people, just trying to have the life that they were given. And maybe it doesn't look like yours or feel like yours or sound like yours, but it is their life to live as they see fit. Because this is America, damn it. And we can't stop the hurt coming from the top. But you and I can make a difference by standing up when we see people being oppressed and saying, you know what, that's not right. Now, I'm lucky. I live in Illinois. We've got a governor and a legislature in Chicago, and they will all go to bat for us. They will protect these communities that Orange Caligula wants to kill off. It kills me a little bit that we have to even think like that. You know, my last podcast that I dropped was talking about how I have many liberal and progressive friends, Democrats, that have gone out and purchased weapons and taken a lot of training in the last couple months since the election, since November 5th. And I was a little disappointed, I must say, in their actions of picking up the stripes from the people we want to distance ourselves with, from people who don't share our ideology and our core beliefs. I understand where they're coming from fully. But I hate that it's come to that. Not yet. But in some areas you can feel it coming. And I hate that. This is not the America my dad, a devout Christian man, left little Milford, Illinois, went to sign up, and they stuck him in the Merchant Marine in World War II. The Merchant Marine had the highest losses of any branch of the military in World War II. He watched people he grew up with be blown to bits right in front of his face to save us from exactly what Washington is handing down through this new administration. To save us from fascism. When I took him on honor flight in 2015, and I watched the man heal after all of that time, after decades of pain and debilitating PTSD, when I took him there and I watched him reconnect with other old soldiers from every walk of life, from every branch of service, with the common value, the common story that they had done everything they could. They had put their lives on the line repeatedly to try to save us from a fascist overtaking. Millions and millions and millions of people died around the world due to fascism. We shouldn't have to repeat it again to know that it's wrong. On the 20th, on Martin Luther King Day, I watched a Rick Steves PBS special on Poland, where he went to Warsaw, to where the ghetto uprisings were, where he talked about Auschwitz, where the Germans, in their fascist Nazi state, were sending 40,000 Jews, Romani, and trans people, gay people, to their death in the gas chamber every week. 40,000 people. Now, I grew up in a town called Glen Ellen. That's about the population of that town every week. Wiped out. Generations wiped out, wiped off the face of this earth. And we've seen some of this in the retaliation in Palestine. Now, what Hamas did was wrong, but the retaliation was a genocide. And we all sat here and watched it. We had a front row seat to it. And most of us did nothing. I called my member of Congress and my senators and the White House regularly. I even called the governor's office and said, look, enough retribution, enough retribution, enough. We have to give peace a chance. And now we have finally, after every hospital, every university, every school, every medical center, every research lab in Gaza is smashed to pieces. We finally have peace. I don't know how long it will last. I don't trust Netanyahu, and I certainly don't trust the head of this nation. But I ask you to hold peace in your heart, especially for those that are marginalized, especially for the people who are just trying to live their lives authentically to the person they are inside. Maybe not the person you see on the outside, but the person they are inside. They are just trying to live their life. They mean you no harm. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put some peace in your heart for them. Reach out to them. Let people know that you're available to be a shoulder, a comforting hug, a shoulder to cry on, a bed to sleep in if they need it. Let them know that they're not alone in this time of great aloneness. The veterans I work with, some of them are transgendered. A lot of them are gay. There's nothing like being beaten up in a war in a foreign country while trying to figure out your own self and then coming home to a disapproving federal government. The ones that you gave everything for now doesn't see you and now wants to remove your benefits and your pronouns and what you call the name you call yourself. Your identity they want to strip from you. And if you think my veterans at my charity that I run aren't feeling it right now, yeah, they are. Not all of them, but the ones whose veteran life intersects their personal life. It's a deep, dark time for them. So I want you to hold some peace in your heart and some hope. I want you to get your asses out there and work. You didn't work hard enough before the election, and here we are. Everything we told you was going to happen is happening. It's unrolling. It's unspooling right before our eyes. And we have to decide if we're going to be Gaza and be bombed back to the Stone Age. If we're going to be muzzled by the far right, pummeled by the alt-right, threatened, coerced into compliance, or if we're going to stand our ground. We don't need to calm down. We need to move forward. And you're part of this. So from the edge of the Great Red Divide, this has been the Heartland Mamas Podcast. I'm your host, Heidi Henry. Have a great day. Go out and make a difference in someone's life in a positive fashion today. Bye-bye.